Welcome back to the Ed Show. In my playbook tonight, the race is on in Pennsylvania. I love this story. I love competition. Congressman Joe Sestak came on the show back in May on the Ed Show and announced that he was most likely going to challenge Arlen Specter in the Democratic Senate primary. Well, it's now official. The congressman has said unequivocally that he is in the race. Now we'll see how good a Democrat Arlen Specter actually is. And I can tell you where Congressman Joe Sestak stands on a public option. I know where he stands on the Employee Free Choice Act. And polls in June showed Arlen Specter's favorability rating at a 17-year low with Pennsylvanians. I think there is an opening here for Congressman Sestak, but there is no question about it. This won't be an easy race. Senator Specter has the support of President Obama and Governor of Pennsylvania, Ed Rendell. Listen to what Governor Rendell said right here on the Ed Show back in May about this race.
I'm a great admirer of Joe Sestak and worked hard to get him elected and reelected, and I'm going to work hard to get him reelected when he runs for Congress next year, not for the Senate. Joe should not run for the Senate in the Democratic primary. He'd get killed.
Wow. Let's find out how Congressman Sestak plans to mount the challenge against Specter. Congressman Sestak is joining us tonight via the phone because the Congress is voting at this hour. Joe, good to have you with us.
Good to be back aboard, Ed. Thanks a lot.
I understand that you just got back from touring Pennsylvania, rural Pennsylvania. It's taken us a week to get a hold of you. What are the folks out there saying about this race? Are they encouraging you to do this?
Oh, without any question. There is a great unease, and you saw it reflected in the poll that you just said, where people actually say, wait a minute, we actually do need a choice. And more from that, there's some buyer's remorse in the rank and files. I've been to about 36 of the 67 counties so far. Got back in at about 2:30 a.m. this morning, back down to Washington for the votes today. And everybody seems to be saying, look, how about giving us an opportunity to vote for someone who's really a Democrat? Everybody is all of a sudden saying he might have been a fine Republican as we will look at him from this side, but all of a sudden he's converted.
Congressman,
we don't feel real comfortable.
Sure. What are you hearing about public option and an insurance plan that would give the public an option to jump in and go against the private sector? What are you hearing from Pennsylvanians?
Everybody wants it. And
everybody wants it?
I hear across the board as I'm talking to these Democratic committees. Here's why. In Pennsylvania particularly, 70% of all private health care plans are in two companies across Pennsylvania, and we know it. Where 42% of the population lives, the Philadelphia region, one company has 70%. And everyone's talking about how come my health premiums have gone up 86% the past 7 years, as Arlen Specter hasn't done anything to help address this issue. And everybody's for this, let me tell you.
And will you support the Employee Free Choice Act? Because
yes, I co-sponsored it.
You will.
Yeah, without a question. As I said, come forward. Now, if the unions decide they can support a compromise, and that's good governance, and they want it, I will. I've always said that. But no, the Employee Free Choice Act, we have mischief being done out there with 32% of the time. If someone tries to organize according to President Bush's NLRB, they are fired or intimidated.
All right, Congressman, the Franklin Marshall poll came out and asked folks if Arlen Specter deserved re-election. Back in June, he was at 28%. Back in March, it was at 40%.
Yes.
Then there was also the question about the primary voters, which way would they go? 33% with Specter, 13% with you, but the undecided number is 48%. Can you defeat Arlen Specter in a Senate primary?
I would not get in unless I knew I would prevail at the end. And two other pieces of information have been out there in the polls. One of them, in that poll you just cited, said, if anyone knew who Joe Sestak and Specter, who would you vote for? 55% were for Joe Sestak, 42% for Arlen Specter. In addition, in another poll, 67% of the people in the Democratic primary said, who voted in that poll for Arlen, said, if there's a credible alternative, we will vote for him.
Congressman, great to have you with us tonight. Thanks so much.
Great to be back.
Now, the makeup of this, folks, is very interesting. Let's see where Arlen Specter stands on a public option. Let's see where he stands on the Employee Free Choice Act. Two issues that you just heard Joe Sestak is adamantly behind and will work with the unions and the working folk. And once a public option, we'll find out if Arlen Specter is a real good Democrat or not.